Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's Benson. What's yours? We're gonna ferment some vegetables today. I've always wanted to get into canning. I've always wanted to basically get a garden going and be able to preserve my own vegetables and stuff to kind of cut down on the cost of spending as far as groceries go. So I've recently been looking into fermenting foods, you know, making sauerkraut, things like that. I like to even be able to make some kimchi at one point or another. So this is a very simple fermenting recipe for fresh vegetables. So we're gonna do carrots and okra and some celery and see how those turn out once they've been fermented. It takes a few days, but the simple recipe that I'm gonna use, and I got from the YouTube channel The Pro Home Cooks, is weight of your veggies plus the weight of your water on the veggies times 0.025 equals the amount of salt needed. And I'm gonna show you how they show you to do it as well, and the method that I'm gonna use. So, got my scale here, just a little $10 scale that I picked up off of Amazon, and it's kind of funny because in the Pro Home Cooks video, it's the exact same scale they used, but. All right, so if we turn this on with the jar already on there, it basically calculates that this is what 0 should be, because we don't want the weight of the jar included in the recipe. So we're gonna set our units to grams. So there's grams, and then we're gonna basically load this joker up. Now we wanna leave enough space in our jar so that we can weigh these down, because you've got to keep the vegetables submerged in order for them to have only good bacteria that grow. So we wanna maybe go about here. And with the okra, and with the okra. You know what, we could probably do this a little bit better and get more. Okay. I've never eaten fermented okra, so I'm not quite sure how this is gonna taste, but we're gonna give it a shot. It's kind of the cool thing is you can test it out. These okras were only like $1.50. They're like fresh hand-picked okra. And then in this jar of okra, I'm gonna take a couple of these bad boys. Just kind of slice into them, drop them right there on top. That way maybe we'll get a nice spicy fermentation on this one. Okay, so that's there. And I don't know if you can see it, but we're at 298 grams. Let's see if we can just go. Let's get to 300 even and make our lives a little bit multiplication savvy. We'll add another 300 even. All right, so we want just enough water to really kind of cover these. And again, we're gonna put probably a bag filled with water on top to push these down to keep them submerged, but let's see where we're at. All right, so we're at 832 grams. Depending on the type of vegetable you're using, your salt content's gonna go up or down. Most though are good at 0.025 or 2.5%. I'm gonna do 3%, so let's get this done. So we need 24.96 grams of salt in this. So the best way, empty this out. We're gonna make sure our vegetables don't fall out of here, but we're gonna put all the water in here into this empty jar. So we have our jar of water and our scale, and then we're gonna zero this out. So we're gonna add salt till we get what we're looking for. And we need 24.96. I'm just gonna round up to 25. because that .004 won't make a huge difference. Look at that, 25 even. Okay, so we want this dissolved a little bit. We'll put it in a ring. And again, I got this recipe from the Pro Home Cooks. He did 0.025 for his fermentation, but I was reading, and some vegetables require a little bit more. So I figured even 3% shouldn't do me too bad. I know like pickles and stuff, or not pickles, but cucumbers and stuff, if you're fermenting them, they require a little bit more salt to really break down and get the fermentation going. That was so dumb. It's not just salt water, but it's pepper juice. I got a whiff of hot pepper. Alright, not the smartest thing I've done, okay. But anyways, we're just gonna fill this back up. Alright, if you notice, our water line's a little bit higher than it was when we first did it because salt has weight, so it adds weight to the water and lifts it. Alright, now you can buy glass weights for stuff like this. Again, I just saw this video the other day, really wanted to get into it. Don't have any glass weights, so I'm gonna go with just a bag filled with water, and I'll show you how I do it. Alright, so we just take our bag. Alright, we'll just shove it down in there. The water's gonna rise, and that's fine, because the idea for fermentation is these have to stay under the water. If they get any kind of oxygen on the actual vegetables themselves, the bad bacteria is gonna grow, and then these are gonna actually mold, versus fermenting is what we wanna do. So, if you look here, the water line for this is actually touching the rim almost a little bit, but we're not going to cover these, so this is going to allow some of that carbon monoxide and stuff that's going to form up that would normally cause like gases and stuff to escape, because I don't want these to have carbonation or anything like that. I just want them to ferment. So, alright, that's one down. We're going to do another thing of okra and a thing of... So this is the controlled rot that we've got going on, the fermentation, and you can see bubbles starting to happen in the back there. Yeah, they're right there on that jar too, and you got a few on this jar as well. Sorry, didn't get a good shot of that. It's pretty cool. Everything looks to still be underwater, which is awesome. Although these little bag things we have set up are holding. I will say if I try this again, I'll do it with, I'll buy some weights, but we're seeing the fermentation start. It's pretty cool. This worries me though, because like you can see there's a air bubble on that pepper. Oh, it was on the bag itself. Cool. Awesome. It's cool to see it working though. Alright, that's that experiment going. Again, first time fermenting anything. I'm going to let that go for probably at least 10 days. So probably come back next Thursday. No, we'll probably come back next Tuesday, not... That'll be 7 days. What? So today's Sunday. So it'll be 9 days from today is when we'll come back and take a look at those again. I'll keep an eye out, maybe do some updates between here and there just to see if maybe anything molds over or anything like that. But I got to get them in a cool place, keep them between like 60 and 75 degrees, which is going to be hard for us because I keep our house at 78 most of the time. Like we don't keep our air real low, even though we live in Florida and it gets kind of warm. We don't get as hot. So the other option I have is to put them in the refrigerator, and then that could take weeks to ferment at that point because it's so cold. In fact, if you get too low in the fermentation, temperature, it won't even ferment at all. So I'm going to try and find a dark, cool place to stick it so that nobody messes with it, nobody touches it, nothing can get into it, and let it go for the next 9 days and just check on it periodically between now and then. But we'll see what happens. Might have to build me a cellar in the ground or something that I can hide fermented veggies and stuff in so that they ferment with proper time. Or reach out to a friend who I know keeps their AC, you know, at like 72 all the time. But yeah, I could take them to work. They keep the AC at work on a pretty decent temperature. We'll see. No promises. Who knows? But anyways, I'll let you know how it goes in about 9 days. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you've ever fermented anything, let me know if you saw that I did anything wrong. If you've never fermented it and are interested in it, I recommend the Pro Home Cooks video. I'll try and link it below as well. He's very, very informative. But yeah, love you guys. Till tomorrow. Alright, so just an update on our fermentation thing. You can see here, that's mold. There's mold there. And there's mold here. What I think happened is the bags that I used to weigh them down didn't weigh the vegetables far enough down into the moisture, into the salt water, and so I think that's what did it. These ran, I'm trying to think how many days they ran. Last Sunday to today, so it's been a full week actually. They ran a full week. And Kristen said they started to show mold yesterday, or no, Thursday when they came down. But I wasn't sure if it was mold or just part of the fermentation process, so I had her let them sit there. So I'm gonna get these guys dumped out outside, and maybe we'll try this again soon whenever I get actual like glass weights or something, and I'll actually put glass weights in and lid it so that enough that the fermentation gases can escape, but maybe keep some other things out of it. So anyways, just wanted to give you an update on the fermentation process of failure.
Shut up and sit down.